Have you ever scrolled the internet at 3 a.m., read one too many true story threads, and suddenly convinced yourself that something is rustling outside your window? Yeah, that's definitely not me. But just in case, welcome to part 1 of our grand tour through creatures your weird uncle swears he saw. Some claw through the desert, some soar above the clouds, and by the end, you might start side-eyeing every weird shadow in the corner of your room. Grab a snack, hit full screen, and let's kick things off with a monster that turned goat farmers into paranoid night watchers overnight. Picture this: rural Puerto Rico, 1995. A farmer checks his pen at dawn and finds 8 goats lying eerily still, with puncture wounds on their necks and not a drop of blood left inside. Word spreads, and soon everyone is whispering the same new name: El Chupacabra, the goat sucker. Eyewitnesses describe a gremlin-sized beast, maybe 3 feet tall, with spiny quills, leathery grey-green skin, and eyes that glow like brake lights in the dark. It hops like a kangaroo, growls like a dog with a sore throat, and, if you believe the reports, leaves a pair of fang marks in whatever livestock you loved most. Within months, sightings pour in from Mexico, then Texas, then as far north as Maine. Farmers all over the country start blaming empty rabbit hutches and drained chicken coops on the chup, and the public can't get enough of it. But scientists are a bit less starstruck. Wildlife biologists point out that nearly every carcass turned in as proof ended up being because of coyotes or dogs. And the reason they gave us was that these coyotes and dogs were sick, so they couldn't hunt properly, making them desperate enough to bite livestock. Blood loss? Probably because of scavenging plus desert heat makes everything look drier than it is. DNA tests back them up, but believers aren't convinced and continue to ask for an explanation for the matching puncture wounds. But even after lab results and press debunks, new sightings still pop up every few months. Night vision trail cams catch weird shapes skulking near barns, and Facebook groups trade blurry photos like baseball cards. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe there's still a spiny-backed drifter prowling around, just waiting to find its next meal. Though that's not the only scary creature on our list. Coming in at number 4, our next creature has more heads than your last group project. Somewhere in the dark, stagnant marshes of Lerna lurked a serpent so nasty that even its bad breath could drop a Spartan on the spot. Picture a python the length of a city bus, but with 9 snapping heads, each full of venom-slick fangs. What you're looking at is the Hydra. And if you make the mistake of trying to slice one of its heads, then you'll just see 2 more sprout in its place. The first person to describe it was Hesiod, who wrote in 700 BC that this reptilian nightmare was the second labor of Heracles. Eventually, Heracles finally won by cutting off the head and immediately branding the neck stumps with torches with help from his buddy Iolaus. Fast forward a few millennia, and the Hydra refuses to stay buried in myth. In the 1920s, dig teams near the Lerna Lagoon unearthed reptile bones so jumbled that local papers couldn't resist the headline: "Could these be the Hydra's skulls?" Unfortunately for all the true believers out there, they turned out to be some big water snake bones mixed with Pleistocene croc bits. Modern biologists note that polycephaly, real animals born with 2 or even 3 heads, does happen in turtles and snakes, so it's not impossible for the Hydra to exist. But no swamp could feed a 9-headed apex predator, and the regenerative trick breaks several laws of energy budget. Yet the legend persists, maybe because it nails that primal horror of a threat you literally can't kill by ordinary means. Even today, cryptozoology forums love to link photos of mutated river eels or deformed pythons, captioning them Hydra hatchlings. So next time you're clipping weeds by a murky pond and hear a hiss that echoes, remember to get your flamethrower ready. But let's move on from the marsh to creature number 3 on our list. Imagine a sky that suddenly goes dark as you start to see wings wider than a small airplane beating overhead, with a thump you feel in your ribcage. Indigenous nations across North America, from the Hydra on the Pacific coast to the Lakota of the plains, tell of the Thunderbird, a colossal raptor that flashes lightning from its eyes. Its mission: keep the cosmic balance and occasionally pluck up misbehaving humans like snacks. The legend jumped from oral tradition to tabloid headline in April 1890, when Arizona's Tombstone Epitaph ran a story of cowboys supposedly shooting a featherless bird with a 160-foot wingspan. Fast forward to July 1977, Lawndale, Illinois. 10-year-old Marlon Lowe swears a giant bird with a white ring on its neck grabbed him by the t-shirt and lifted him 2 feet before dropping him. Witnesses backed him, and suddenly every Midwestern field guide included, "Watch for sky monsters." In 2002, Alaskan bush pilots filed multiple reports of an eagle-like silhouette, as big as a Cessna. Ornithologists counter with the boring but likely explanations. Oversized turkey vultures or Andean condors blown off course. Atmospheric tricks can make an eagle's 12-foot shadow stretch across a barn, and human memory is often faulty. Yet the myth of a storm-summoning bird won't die, suggesting that there might be some truth to it after all. But the next creature on our list shows us that terrifying monsters don't just exist out in the world, but can also appear in your room. It's 3 a.m., your doom-scrolling creepypasta, and a post titled, "He was sitting at the foot of my bed" grabs you. Congratulations. You've just met Rake, the internet's favorite sleep paralysis demon. The story first clawed its way onto 4chan's board in 2005, where witnesses described a naked, ash-pale, hairless humanoid with limbs like bent coat hangers and eyes that glow wetly in the dark. It crouches, crab walks, and whispers nonsense until the listener is catatonic with dread. Early threads circulated a fake 1964 field note claiming the creature left victims gibbering, "Rake, Rake," before vanishing into the woods. From there, the myth grew. YouTubers posted shaky night vision clips of a gaunt figure sprinting past headlights, and a 2013 Rake captured in Spanish cave video racked up 30 million views despite being an obvious rubber suit. Skeptics note that every photo of the Rake is blurry, and most encounters with the Rake end up looking more like creative writing assignments than realistic stories. But the legend nails 2 things we truly fear: waking paralysis and intruders who know our name. So next time you jolt awake and can't move, maybe it's just REM sleep biology, or maybe something is perched at the end of the mattress, counting your breaths. I'd wish you sweet dreams, but you won't be having many of them after you meet the creature who's number 1 on our list. Meet the Kelpie, a shape-shifting water spirit that usually looks like a majestic black horse, with its mane dripping like liquid midnight. Local lore says if you touch its hide, your hand sticks as though it's glued, and if you climb on its back, it gallops straight into the watery depths, its skin fusing you to the saddle before you can scream. Earliest written mentions pop up in 18th century ballads, but storytellers insist the legend is much older, passed along to keep kids from playing too close to deep water. In 1997, a hiker near Loch Ness claimed he saw an impossibly long-legged horse walk across the surface and vanish. Skeptics chalk it up to optical illusions, floating logs, or overactive imaginations. Still, the folkloric pull is strong. In 2014, Scotland unveiled the Kelpies, 2 30-metre steel horseheads looming over the Forth and Clyde Canal. So if a lonely trail by a loch suddenly echoes with hoofbeats, maybe keep your coins in your pocket and step back from the water's edge. And that's another 5 creatures checked off the cryptid bingo card, from goat-draining desert prowlers to shape-shifting river horses. Which one spooked you the most? Or better yet, which do you secretly hope is real? Drop your pick in the comments, smack that like button if you survived, and hit subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the monsters you tell yourself aren't lurking outside the window.